I've got the splash page up. I got the splash page up. Splash page. Hello, Podfeet.
We are live and direct. What is that from? Live and direct.
It sounds like Max Headroom.
I think it might be. Well, hello, everybody. We got a lively crowd here tonight on Sunday. We got, well, for some of it's tonight, some it's tomorrow.
Actually, maybe more. It's Monday than Sunday tonight.
We got Brett and Jason and Frank and Jill and Rose and Mike and Rick and Samsate, who is here for the first time, and Sandy and Michael, and let's see who's in the sidebar. Got, let's see, Jill again, and Rose, and Frank. As always, Frank picked W so I could say he's pulling up the rear. Hey, Podfeet, let her hair down.
It's been long. Down for several months.
This is what is it? What's March to November? 3 from 11, that'd be subtraction. 8 something?
Yeah.
That's what 8 months without a haircut looks like.
Hey, you don't have your lights on behind you.
What's that?
You don't have your lights on behind you.
Oh, they should be. They didn't obey the home app. Let me try that again. Home. Ding dong. Here we go. Let's see. Al's Den. Anybody get a... it's March 274th. It says the mantle light is on. Home says it's on. Now it's off. Now it's on again.
Okay, now it's on.
That's weird.
You're good.
It was at 99%. Now it says it's at 0%.
Huh.
Good old HomeKit.
And it looks like a different color scheme than you normally have.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be green. That's new. Scenes? Yeah, there it is. It's in its scene. I forget how to change the color. I don't know if I can do the color from in here. I probably have to do it from a different app, from the app. Well, I don't feel like it. All right. Jill says I'll shave my head before I
okay, we got to get a picture of that, Jill.
Actually, Steve, you should post the picture of my my Triceratops.
I should. I'm not sure I have that. Well,
Facebook.
I guess I could pull that from Facebook. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think we are ready to start. What do you think? I got to do a lot of recording.
Yeah.
I got to do it. All right.
Let's do it.
Steve.
Al, I wasn't hearing that for some reason. And I'm still not hearing you. We're working
Can you
it.
hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, back to YouTube.
Nope, lost you. No, she didn't mute herself. I see her video feed is active, at least in Mimo. That's the software we use to stream to the internet. Maybe I'll try something over here. Talk again, Al.
So I can make you hear me by Let me explain. I can make you hear me by changing to a different audio input, but if I use this, you can't hear you can't hear Hindenburg.
So what is that audio
that's
control you're
called YouTube
changing.
Live Input, and it comes from loopback, and it looks like it is working just fine. I'm looking at it right now. Here, I can put it on top of Discord, or on top of my recorder. So you can see that combines a virtual device called Al's mic and Hindenburg into one recording, into one output. And what you're listening to right now is Al's mic. You're listening to this.
Okay.
So YouTube Live has Al's mic plus Hindenburg, and you can hear me when I'm on Al's mic, but not when I'm on YouTube Live Input.
Switch to YouTube Live Input again. Just.
I'm sorry?
Switch to YouTube Live Input again.
Okay, so I'll show you where I'm switching it. So we'll go. Oh, we'll really pull back the curtain. This now you're seeing Mimo Live. So right now, this is what is normally set to YouTube Live Input. So.
Okay. Yeah, that kills you. How about the adjusting those channels like you used? Oh, there you go.
Nope. So I can see that it's working. So I think I need to quit Mimo Live and come back in. What will that do?
That'll be fine here. I mean,
yeah,
we won't.
So you got to vamp and talk to people.
Okay.
Be entertaining, Steve.
Well, they're doing fine themselves. Welcome, John. Didn't see you sneak in there. Oh, I know what I can vamp about. Rockets. So, I don't know if you've all been following SpaceX and their trials and tribulations, but they've had some successes lately, and one of them is with a vehicle they're developing called the Starship. Starship is a large rocket. It's in development, and it consists of two parts, the lower booster phase and the upper Starship section, which is the kind of the second stage. So this Starship has been static fired on the ground to test the engines a few times, and it's had some problems, but they're making progress, and it looks like they are ready to do. Oh, they've also done a short hop, 150 meters, 500 foot little hop off the ground, translate over a few hundred feet, and land vertically. But that's all in preparation for their next big test flight, where they're going to fly up to 15 kilometers. So I guess that'd be like 50,000 feet up, and then bring the thing back and do their belly flop, and then land vertically. And that will be a big event, because they'll be testing a whole different method for transitioning from flight to landing.
Okay, Steve, I hate to interrupt you here.
Go ahead.
I think it's a Mimo Live problem because, maybe. Let me ask you guys something. I'm going to hit playback in Hindenburg right now, and I want you to tell me whether you hear the music. I'm going to play the music now. Okay, in Discord, could you hear the music just now? I'm afraid if I can't play the music back to Mimo Live, then you guys won't hear it in the video, correct?
I'm not sure I'm hearing you in Discord. Let me turn you off at Mimo. Hold on.
Okay, is anybody hearing me in Discord? I'm in Discord. Hello.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you in Discord at all.
Oh God, that's even weird. Okay, so Mike is here. So then it isn't a Mimo Live problem, because okay, I'm betting that you can hear me now in
Now
Discord.
I can hear you in Discord. Yes.
Okay, let me go back to this. Can you hear me now? No, you can't. It's oh no. Okay, let me. Why would Loopback have screwed up? That's really unfortunate. I'm going to actually quit Loopback. Okay, I am back. Okay, let's see YouTube Live Input.
I can. Yeah, but I think it's just once.
So I'm not going to be able to do any playback for you guys. That was working, and it stopped working, and I don't know why. Okay. So, at least you can hear me. That doesn't make any sense, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so you won't be able to hear playback, so that's okay. We got plenty to do, and it's 10 after. I better get recording. All right, here we go. Muting Steve. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan. Okay, that wasn't good. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so... I'm distracted by the fact that this isn't working. I gotta just don't pay attention. Just go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, November 29th, 2020, and this is show number 812. Well, I had a nice, relaxing Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you guys all stayed safe and maybe got to have a little bit of fun. I know I gained 2 pounds, so apparently I ate well enough. This week, Rod Simmons of the SMR podcast joins us on Chit Chat Across the Pond to talk about our tips and tricks for doing effective screencasting. So it's kind of a back and forth between the two of us. We both put down notes of everything we thought about, and it was really, really a fun episode. We started by going through some more strategic ideas on how to get your messages across with a screencast, and then we dug into some of the techniques and tools we use to edit our screencasts. We've got an outline of our talking points in the show notes and some links to the various tools we discussed. Be sure to look for Chit Chat Across the Pond Lite in your podcatcher of choice, or you can find it over at podfeet.com. Oh, you got your Mac Mini. Jealous. I don't have mine yet. Oh, wait. Chapter mark. What do I want?
Good job, Rick.
Okay. Mashed down a bunch of keys. So, should I ask Steve for a Stream Deck for Christmas? A Stream Deck would allow me to just press a button to execute. Rick says yes. I could press a button to do Mike's keyboard maestro action. Maybe have him send one to me too.
Hey, I noticed you didn't have your intro music when you... Oh, maybe you just inserted it now?
No, you can't hear Hindenburg.
Okay.
Remember, YouTube Live Input is not
gotcha.
working. So we can't.
Weird.
Did someone say save? Yes. All right. Oh, nope. I got to use it again. All right. Oh, Steve, you like to show...
Yeah.
I don't know how to get that. Oh, there you go. Let's use Mike's macro again. Mash down every key on my keyboard. Nope. Got to start in here. Now mash it all down. Copy link. And there it goes. Bink, bink, bink. Whee!
Cool.
Squee. I love that. Okay, so this has been waiting for like 3 weeks ago. I posted this. Where is it?
Sandy wants
There
to
it
know
is.
if you're actually hitting all the keys at once.
All of them.
All of them. How
Every
many
key on
fingers?
my Let's see if I can bring up. I don't want to do this live while I'm actually recording, but this might be easier if I do it with the camera. This is what I'm going to be talking about, the Excel Qt Surge Protector. So I've got a big old power cord on that side, big old power cord on that side. I got 2 USB-A ports on the front, on the top, 2 more on the front. It's kind of a curious little design, and it's really hard to line it up. There we go. So
Doesn't look like it's designed as much for mobile use.
No, it's a little hard to pack. Actually, it's almost exactly this. That's what I should have showed. It's the same size as the iPod, the HomePod
Yeah.
Mini.
It's the little red sister of the HomePod
That's
Mini.
exactly how I should have named it. Okay. All right, here we go. You know, I love to tell a nice long story before I get into the point of my reviews, but I'm going to have to dig deep on this one. Don't worry, though. I'm up to the challenge. Some of you may have heard this story from me before, but it's such a great story, I'm going to tell it again. One day back in 2014, Steve and I were puttering on our computers, as we are wont to do, when we saw the lights dim and both of our computer speakers started making noise. Sensing an imminent power outage, I unplugged my laptop from my monitor that was delivering it power, and we immediately shut down both of the Drobos we were using at the time. One of them was on an uninterruptible power supply, also known as a UPS, and the other was on a plain old surge protector. Steve's iMac was on a UPS that we had inherited from Tim Verporten, which should have protected it, but he shut his iMac down as a precaution. Sometimes when the power goes out, it's the surge when it comes back that damages your equipment. I went downstairs to make lunch while the power sorted itself out. Figured it'll come back up. We don't have power outages very often, and when we do, it's usually pretty quick. I turned on the overhead fluorescent lights in the kitchen, and they came on really bright. Now, I don't mean a little brighter than usual. I mean really, really bright. Then they started making a loud noise, sort of a crackle combined with a hum, like it was really rather frightening. I glanced over to the family room, and I noticed that the lights in that room were unusually dim rather than bright. I went to the stairwell, and as it was near Christmas, we had a garland with lights up the banister, and those lights were really dim as well. Steve then hollered down from upstairs that he smelled smoke. I'd like to say that I immediately grabbed a fire extinguisher before going up after him, but I did not. We had trouble isolating from what room the smoke smell was coming, and that was because every room had something smoldering. The smell was every single surge protector we had giving up its life. Nothing was continuing to burn, but the smoke smell of fried electronics was lovely. I'd like to point out that our very expensive Nest smoke detectors never went off. As Steve is our resident electrical engineer, he got busy with his voltmeter to try to diagnose what the heck was going on in our house. In the United States, you should see 120 volts AC at your outlets. Some houses, including ours, have two 120-volt AC lines coming in that are split between the two sides of the house, but when combined, they would form 240 volts. Steve checked the voltage in the kitchen, and it was 200 volts AC instead of 120. When he checked the family room where the lights were dim, it was 40 volts AC. Remember, we're supposed to have 240 split 50-50, not 200 volts and 40 volts. We eventually found out that our entire block was taken out by the same failure. On a power pole on the street behind us, an electric company worker some time ago had replaced a little metal cup on a transformer that was supposed to be concave down, but he inadvertently put it concave up. The cup was supposed to protect the neutral line coming out of the transformer from water, but instead it was collecting water. The job of the neutral line is to provide that equal split of 240 volts AC to form the two 120 volt AC lines going into the houses on our block. Over a period of time, moisture collected in that cup and eventually rusted out the connection that made the neutral. This allowed the neutral line between the two intended 120 volt lines to kind of float and form a different neutral with two unequal power levels going to the houses, including ours. Now, the effect of this unfortunate error was that it blew out most of the electronics and appliances in about a dozen homes. The electric company was very good about paying for repairs and replacements as needed, but it was a giant mess for a lot of people. We lost our garage door opener, our microwave oven, which was built into our regular oven, our intercom system, and a few other things. Now, you might be wondering what I could possibly be reviewing today that would compel me to retell you this story. Let's go back to the smoke-smelling rooms in our house after the disaster struck. I said that the surge protectors in our house gave up their lives. The important part of this story is that every single device that was plugged into a surge protector survived when those things blew, and every single thing we lost was not on a surge protector. This was a lesson for us, and now any power device in our house that's worth more than, like $100 is on a surge protector. Steve even screwed one into the ceiling of our garage for the new garage door opener. Our intercom system's little power supply in Steve's closet has one too now. And of course, TVs, refrigerators, and all other electronics have them as well. Unfortunately, the power line going to our new oven is hardwired, so we were not able to put a surge protector on that one. Both of our computers and our Drobo and our Synology and our Mac Mini Plex server and our printers are all on UPSs now. But there's one place I've been remiss in keeping my stuff safe, and that is the random things I plug in at my desk. I've been using a cruddy old extension cord with only 2 outlets sitting on top of my desk, and I plug in, spare laptops and other devices, but there were never enough outlets. My priceless Dyson fan is always plugged in there, and often a phone or an Apple Watch gets some juice from that little extension cord. Recently, my buddy Ron, who's gotten the Wise Cam religion and now buys the increasingly diverse products they sell. Did you know Wise now sells a robot vacuum too? Anyway, Ron bought a couple of their surge protectors and gave me one. It's pretty slick with 3 AC outlets and 3 USB-A outlets in a standard long white box. But you know that with a laptop charger plugged in, I can't really get to all 3 AC outlets. Heck, the power plug for my trusty Dyson fan is so big, I can't plug anything next to it either. It's not a bad device, but I'm still swapping things in and out of it all of the time because I only have 2 usable AC outlets. Well, this week, Excel, the company that makes one of the Thunderbolt 3 docks I tested and liked a lot a long time ago, they offered to send me their unusual surge protector that they call the Power Cutie. I jumped at the chance to give it a spin. Now, I know surge protectors aren't supposed to be fun, but the Power Cutie is fun. It's a 3.5-inch diameter ball that comes in red, baby blue, yellow, white, and even pink. I should mention that it doesn't roll around on your desk because the bottom is flat. The spherical shape is not just to be fun. There's actually a practical reason it's shaped that way. On the back and the 2 sides are 3 AC outlets, and because they have their own dedicated sides, you can plug in 3 giant power supplies and they don't interfere with each other. The Power Cutie also sports 4 USB-A ports, 2 on the top and 2 on the front. Is it really 3? Well, it really is. Huh. There's one on the back. I forgot all about it. It's been a long time since I wrote this. Okay, let me keep going. I took a photo of the Wise Surge Protector to show how messy it looked with a bunch of stuff plugged into it and show how I could use only 2 of the 3 outlets at a time. I figured this nice sphere would look really sleek and organized in comparison. While it does allow me to plug in more devices with 3 usable AC outlets, once you plug that much stuff in, it's still messy looking. Now, I happen to be working on my backup laptop testing out macOS Big Sur, so I plugged in the giant 100-watt Apple power supply into the Power Cutie. The poor thing tilted right over on its side. But that's not really a fair test, so I fetched the sleek and thin Eggtronic 65-watt GAN charger, and the Power Cutie had no problem standing up and looking adorable. On the bottom of the Power Cutie, there's a slot where you could hang it on the wall, which might be cool, but it might look a bit odd to have a pink or baby blue sphere stuck to your wall. But, it depends on how you roll. I don't want to judge. Now, I know you guys love it when I dig deep into specs, so I did a bit of research on how good this surge protector is. I read the Underwriters Laboratory, or UL, Spec 1449, which governs surge protector devices, or SPDs, as they're known in the industry. They're also known as transient voltage surge suppressors, and that's an important distinction. Normally, you want a surge protector to save your devices during a power spike, like a lightning strike, for example. That's a transient surge. Those transient surges send very high voltage down the line, so you want your surge protector to stop any surges above a certain voltage. On good surge protectors, they will have a label showing Voltage Protection Rating, or VPR. That's from the UL spec. VPR is a measure of the maximum voltage a surge protector will let through to connected devices. So the lower the VPR, the better the protection for your devices from transient power surges. I looked at the ratings on 3 surge protectors in my house. A cheap one I got from a hardware store, the one from Wise that my buddy Ron gave me, and the Excel Power Cutie. The cheap one from the hardware store had no VPR rating on it at all. It might do the job, but maybe not. The Wise has a VPR of 1.2 kilovolts, and the Power Cutie has a VPR of 400 volts. That means the Wise surge protector will let through 3 times higher voltage surge than the Power Cutie. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you how much voltage is okay for your devices. Is anything above 400 volts going to blow out your garage door opener? Is it okay to only limit to above 1.2 kilovolts for your refrigerator? I don't know. All I can tell you is the Excel Power Cutie is capable of protecting your devices from that higher voltage. When we had our big power mess, we only had cheap hardware store surge protectors, so why did they protect our devices when we had our power disaster? Remember, we had 200 volts on one side and 40 volts on the other side of our house, so we didn't have the power spike that surge protectors are normally made for. We had a sustained high power situation. But that sustained power level was nowhere near as high enough to have tripped the surge protectors, according to the VPR we've been talking about. So what happened? Steve and I noodled this a bit, and we think that if the voltage is too high for too long, but not high enough to trip the surge protector, then the current begins to climb, and that may have caused the surge protectors to actually act like a fuse and burn themselves out. In my research on the topic, I found something that really made me smile. In the Wikipedia entry on surge protectors, it says, quote, "A long-term surge lasting seconds, minutes, or hours caused by power transformer failure such as a lost neutral or other power company error are not protected by transient protectors." Now, I swear, Steve and I did not edit the Wikipedia page to say that. Okay, back to the Power QD for a few more details about it. The 3 USB-A ports are 5 volts at 2.4 amps, which means they'll give you 12 watts of power each, which is about what a 10-inch iPad wants in order to charge. The power cord on the QD is a generous 6 feet long, which is really great. It's always tempting to plug a surge protector into an extension cord if its own cord is too short, but that's a really bad idea because it defeats the purpose of using a surge protector. While the Wise surge protector is only $10, they're known for being a low price leader. It has a very short cable. It doesn't fit as many power adapters, doesn't have as many USB ports, and the USB ports it does have are 2.1 amps max as compared to the Power QD's 2.4 amps. Not a bad device for $10, but it's not as good as the Power QD. The Excel Power QD is $35 on the Excel website, but it's $30 on Amazon and even less expensive at $28 at Best Buy with free delivery. I do have to tell you, though, the pink is not an option at Best Buy for $28. The bottom line is the Excel Power QD is a beast of a surge protector in a unique design that allows you to plug in more devices with higher protection than a standard surge protector. With its funky and playful look and a long cable, it will likely protect your devices from disaster. The only downside to this ball-shaped design is it's probably not the easiest shape for a travel surge protector. Whew. If there's no pink, it's not in consideration.
That was a long one.
Yeah, 1.21 gigawatts. When did John sneak in?
About 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago.
You were late to class, John.
Yes, he was.
Preview. All right. That was fun. That is not the right episode. That's 811. Why did you open 811? 812 would be a better episode to be looking at. All righty. Okay, this is another long read.
Wait, before you move on, Rick had a suggestion.
Oh, what did he suggest? Saving at a chapter mark. All right. Well, let's show my screen here. Mash down every key on my keyboard. Oh, nope. Got to start here. Do forget to do that sometimes. And I hear a little dink. Copy link. Link.
Good job, Rick.
It's very exciting. Oh, I guess it doesn't make any sense. I did it while I was showing myself going. It doesn't matter if it's showing just the device. Just the app, I mean. Okay, this is very exciting. Very exciting stuff. We're going to talk about Folge, which has also been posted for a long time. Wow. It's been posted since the 22nd.
They make coffee?
What's that?
They make coffee?
Did they make coffee? No. All right, here we go. Back to work.
Did we lose your audio, Al? I think we lost your audio.
It did work. Okay. It's very strange. Okay, here we go. For many NosillaCastaways, a dark day in our tech lives was when our beloved app Clarify was end-of-lifed by its developers. I was personally heartbroken because I'd not only advertised the product on the show, I was a devout user of Clarify for all of the tutorials I made for podfeet.com and for my friends and for my family. One part of the beauty of Clarify was that it let you rapidly take a series of screenshots as you walked through a tool or website, annotate the screenshots with arrows and lines and even sequence numbers, and then add each step to Okay, come on. Actually, going to start that over. For many NosillaCastaways, a dark day in our tech lives was when our beloved app Clarify was end-of-lifed by its developers. I was personally heartbroken because I'd not only advertised the product on the show, I was a devout user of Clarify for all of the tutorials I made for podfeet.com and for my friends and family. One part of the beauty of Clarify was that it let you rapidly take a series of screenshots as you walked through a tool or website. You could then annotate the screenshots with arrows and lines and even sequence numbers, and then add text to each step, including HTML links and code blocks. But the biggest advantage of using Clarify versus just taking normal screenshots and annotating them in something like Preview was that it would export your step-by-step instructions into beautifully formatted PDFs, HTML pages, or even Word or PowerPoint. I never did that, of course, but PDFs and HTML, of course. You never had to go through the absolute tedium of trying to move images around in a text editor and getting the pages to flow properly. Clarify did all of this for you. After Clarify hit end of life, the developers did one last update to make it 64-bit, so at least those of us who already own Clarify could keep using it with macOS Catalina and beyond, but you couldn't buy Clarify any longer. I noticed that the demise of Clarify, even though my copy is still working, caused me to simply stop making tutorials. I just don't do it anymore. I really do think it broke my heart a little bit that Clarify was abandoned. In April of 2018, I wrote an article entitled, "Can Stepshot Guides Replace Clarify?" I tried to write that as optimistically as I could, but Stepshot Guides was very expensive at $120 per year, and it was very clumsy. I really did not like it. And you know what? Stepshot Guides was eventually abandoned by its developers. Now, why am I ripping open these old wounds? This week, I was contacted by Alexei Srebiny about his app called Folge at folge.me. Did I read this already, you guys? I remember trying to pronounce his name. Steve, seriously,
do you want me
guys,
to check to see if this has
Jill
already
says
been?
she has deja vu too.
Yeah, let me check last week's show.
I can remember Alexei telling me that
Let me check your last week's show.
I didn't do it last week. When would I have done it?
But you talked about it, didn't you?
Oh, I remember. It was on sale.
Right. So you wanted to let people know about it, but I don't.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I don't see it in the listing for NosillaCast 811.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Oh, Rush is here again. Okay,
so,
good.
But you did refer to the article in the intro of 811.
Yeah, because it was on sale till the 30th of November.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Carry on.
Very good. Okay, because I remember him saying thank you for pronouncing his name close to correctly. Hang on. Okay. Now, why am I ripping open? God, I messed it up the same as I did the last time. Now, why am I bringing up these old wounds? This week, I was contacted by Alexei Srebiny about his app called Folge at folge.me, which he's marketing as a replacement for Clarify and Stepshot Guides. Over the years, I'm often asked if I found a replacement for Clarify, and I surely miss it myself, so I was really excited to give Folge a try. I want to say up front that Alexi is possibly the most responsive and excited about his product developer I've ever encountered. He loves feedback, and the more detailed, the better. He said he's always disappointed when users simply write, "I like your tool," or something equally vague. While he's met his match with me, I've been sending him questions and screenshots and even a little video recording to show him what I'm finding. Let's start by talking about the Folge interface. The app is written in Electron, which means it's basically a Chrome web app. The advantage of Electron is it allows for very rapid development and allows Alexi to have his app work both on Windows and Mac without having to develop separate apps. I recognized right away that he uses Bootstrap to do the design, which is a tool Bart taught us in Programming by Stealth. The result is a very fluid, beautiful, and quick app. Now, Electron apps are generally seen as heavier than native apps, but I am definitely not noticing this app being slow at all. What I do notice is that the normal Mac menu bar options basically don't do anything at all. For example, there isn't a preferences menu in the menu bar. Instead, you go to settings using a hamburger menu like you would on a web app. It's also odd that there are undo and redo menus in the menu bar, and yet those functions don't actually work inside Folge. I've talked to Alexi about it, and of course, that's going to change in a future revision. Now, once I understood this, though, that I was using a web app, I didn't find it annoying at all because I'm so used to working in the web. But, I did want to make sure you understood up front how Folge might look different than normal Apple apps. Now, I usually like to wait till the end to tell you the price of a tool, so if I really like it, I can sell you on it first. But since I mentioned the high price of Stepshot guides, and we know that the $39 price tag of Clarify was not enough to make a sustainable business model, I figured I should let you know the pricing for Folge.
Allison?
Folge is available for download at folge.me, and they have both a free and a paid model. With the free version, you're limited to just PDF export, and your screenshots will have a small typewritten watermark in the bottom right corner saying they were taken by Folge. The normal price for a personal license is €80, but it's on Black Friday sale for €59. I think it is till the end of November, and I'm recording on the 29th of November. So this is why I told you guys ahead of time that it was coming out, and wanted to make sure if you could get the sale, you could. For the U.S. folks, the regular price will be $93, but it's on sale for $55 till the end of November. I always hate to talk about sale prices because we need to think about whether the tool is worth the full price. I don't want people to be discouraged if they hear this after the end of November.
Allison?
You know what? Yes.
Mike noticed, Mike LaPlante, that in NosillaCast 810, you did review Folge. That was back on November 15th. And I'm looking at it now. He's right. Now, okay. Hold on. So let me look at this. So
yeah, it does say it.
810, it does include full. I mean,
but
it includes it in the title.
822.
So it's in the title and it's in the show notes.
Okay, let's.
Did you update it since then? Maybe
it was NASA who caught it. Hang on.
Oh, I thought
Mike
did.
No, he's saying it. He's saying it was
oh,
NASA.
You're right.
Hang on.
I don't know why I said. Yeah,
okay, so
John
hang on.
caught it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to 810. There's not much in that episode, so it's probably. Let's see. If I play. I'm going to play. Keep the things down. That's weird because I don't remember. Okay, how do you. I find this app so. Hang on. I'm looking for the chapter mark. Let's listen. Nope, that's not it. How do you get to chapter marks? Crapes. Anybody know how to get to chapter marks in Overcast? I can find my links. Oh, there it is.
So I'm listening to it, and it's in the podcast.
Okay, good. I thought it was familiar. Thank you so much. Okay.
Sorry, John. I didn't. For some reason, I thought it was Might.
Okay, well, the show's going to be shorter than I thought, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay, so I am glad that you did find it.
That's why we have a chat room. Good job, chat room. Good job, John.
Well, it explains why he...
But how was it posted after the blog, after the NosillaCast? Did you do an update maybe? Who knows?
Well, what I may do... Okay, let me do something here. I do have something I want to say about Folge. I'm going to take Folge out of the show notes here. Okay.
Yeah, you do talk about Pat. Is that since?
Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
Okay.
And there's not going to be I'm going to do a chapter mark, but I'm just going to say something nice then. I'm glad you found that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know what?
Whether to do it.
Why not? You have all this written up. Why don't you just...
I know, but it's so out of context.
You can say, you might remember my review of Folge a couple weeks ago. Because I didn't.
Okay. We'll do that. There'll be some winging. Here we go. Tell them what you're going to say. Tell them again. There we go. All right.
Did we lose your audio again? I don't hear you. No.
Okay, how about direct from my mic?
There you go. I don't know if Discord
is weird.
hears you.
It's right when something is going wrong with Hindenburg.
Huh.
All these things are interconnected.
Interesting.
So I wonder if Hindenburg... I have an idea. I'm going to quit Hindenburg.
Ooh.
We're going to relaunch Hindenburg. I wonder if Hindenburg is the vector between my...
Hopefully you saved.
Yeah, I did.
All
Of
right.
course, because everybody told me to. This is just going to be interesting. Let me see if YouTube Live input works. Okay. We're going to take you straight off my mic. That's okay.
Let me make sure Discord can hear you talk again.
Hello. Am I back?
Yeah, I got you in Discord too. Okay.
The save was done back in 8:10.
Good job, Mike.
Okay. I can't get to this. Come on. We'll get to that chapter. Okay. Make me scroll. Hindenburg. I think Hindenburg's pissing me off here today. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go here. Okay, here we go.
Lost you again.
It gets stuck in a play mode. Actually, hang on. I'm going to try one more time.
Nope.
All right, never mind. Okay, try this again. Why is everything making noise again? Or it's attack or Victor. All right, here we go. Okay. Jeez. Here we go. I promise, this time I really mean it. Muting Steve. Now, you may remember a few weeks ago, I talked about an app called Folge, which was the replacement for Clarify that hopefully will allow us to make tutorials or guides, as the developer Alexi says. Now, I'm saying you may remember because I didn't remember that I already recorded it, but luckily in the live chat room, I was notified, I believe it was by Michael Westbay, that I had already given you this article. But it's okay because I have an update about this and I wanted to tell you about it. My friend Pat Dengler bought Folge after I told her about it, and she ran into a problem where the app didn't ask for permission to record the screen. If the app doesn't ask for permission, there's no way for the user to manually add it to the allowed list. I encouraged her to write to Alexi because, as I told you when I did the recording before, he's so very responsive. He and I had just been emailing me when she wrote to me, so I knew it was a good time for him over in Germany. She wrote to him and she immediately got this response. Thank you for letting me know about this. I have just yesterday refactored some code around this specific permission request, and it appears that I do not ask for permissions properly. I'll send you an updated version of the app in about 90 minutes. Would it be possible for you to test it for me? Okay, seriously, have you ever gotten an answer like that from a developer? Obviously, she said yes, and she explained her background as a certified Apple consultant. 33 minutes later, he wrote this back to her. Since Allison featured me in her blog and podcast, I've met so many nice new people. Wow, getting feedback from someone like you with your experience would be just great. I've fixed the issue. Please try this new 1.4.2 version. Now, he also said, if you wonder what was wrong, I released 1.4.1 yesterday with fixes around security for Big Sur, and it looks like I deleted the line of code that was asking for capturing permissions, which actually adds apps to that list. As it turns out, Alexi was super lucky to have someone like Pat find the problem because he would have had headaches all day from sad users if she hadn't written. But you know what? I give him tons of credit for being so incredibly responsive to her and thereby reaping those benefits. And I thought it was really, really great that he gave her the reason why it went wrong. I thought that was really cool. So if you have any ideas for improvement for Folge, please let Alexi know by emailing him at hello@folge.me. Now, in my conversations with Alexi, I had asked him two critical questions. What does Folge mean? Folge. And what's the story behind the logo for Folge? It's a yellow and black car with a follow me sign on top of it. Alexi explained that Folge, which when used in context in Germany, not in Germany, in German. No, I want you to be here. No, here to there. Alexi explained to me that Folge, which is a German word, when it's used in context, it means an episode, sequence, or series of things in order. That's a perfect name for an app designed to help you convey a series of steps to be followed. As for the yellow and black checkered follow me car, in Europe, evidently these are cars which guide aircraft after landing into their bays. I'd never heard of such a thing. So not only did we get an intriguing app that may fill the hole in our hearts left by Clarify, but I learned something new. After I posted my article about Folge, Alexi did something lovely. He sent me a PayPal donation. Now, I asked our Slack community for advice about this at podfeed.com/Slack because I was really torn on whether to accept the money. If I accepted the money, would I continue to keep a critical eye on the product as it develops, or would I maybe be a little bit more lenient as a result? I think I could be objective, but you know what? It just felt funny. In the end, I returned the donation, and I explained to Alexi why, and I said, if you really feel like helping, why don't you just give away a copy of Folge to a NosillaCast away? He did better than that. He gave away 2 copies, and I posted in our Facebook and Slack communities that the first person in each that said, pick me, would get the free software. Dave Ginsberg in Facebook and Mark Pauly in Slack were the happy recipients. Alexi is a very cool guy who loves feedback, loves our excitement for Folge, and I thank him for the support that he's given us so far. So, you know what? Shoot him an email at hello@folge.com. Alrighty then.
So, one thing, I don't think it's worth going back and changing.
No.
But you gave credit.
Did I give credit to the wrong mic?
It was John. I did the same thing. I think
John,
I planted.
Oh,
It was-
Steve. No, you said it was Mike LaPlante. Oh,
I did.
Come on.
That's what
no.
I'm saying. I
I
planted
gotta go
that
fix
idea.
it. Why did you stop me back then?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't sure you wanted to. I think
No,
John's
I
okay
definitely
with it.
would want it. Okay, this is going to be the longest show. You guys have to stay to the end now.
The bitter end. Well, how much more do you have here?
John
Oh,
is
wow, you
pouting.
have- Is the one with Joe, is that not going to be read?
That is not going to be read.
Good. But the HomePod
Okay,
will
hang
be.
on. I'm listening to recording. Okay. Mute this track for a second here. Oh, no, I can't do that. Let's see. Mute that. Now, it was NASA Nut.
Yes, John.
That's not John Long. That's
No.
John.
Hornsby?
John, what's your last name? It's gone.
Hornsby.
John Hornsby.
Hornsby.
Probably going to misspell.
I don't
Hornsby
think there's
with an
I don't
M.
think there's an H.
Ormsby. Okay. Beating Steve. Now I'm saying that you may remember because I didn't actually remember that I had already talked to you about Folge. But luckily, John Ormsby, also known as NASANut in our live chat room at podfeed.com/live, notified me that I had already talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so now I'm going to have to do a bunch of jiggery pokery. Now, did only... who noticed that I said the wrong name?
John.
I bet Michael Westbay said, no, give me credit.
No, yeah, I think it was Mike that. Wait, who did notice it? I think.
Okay, if I screw this up, this is tough editing. Hang on. Let me make sure I get this right. No, don't do that. Okay.
So Sandy said it maybe first.
Whoop. Okay.
Sandy says she just said it after someone else.
I know you can't
Not
hear
I.
this.
No,
but hang on a second.
Michael said not I. He may have been the first.
Okay, just a second. I'm listening. Okay, and I'm going to go to there. Okay, that edit's done. Now there's going to be another gap down here. If we have this big gap, everybody will yell at me. Okay. Okay, Sandy caught it. I thought maybe Michael just let it going, you know.
No, he
You don't
did.
appear to be watching the chat as you're reading.
No, Michael did say it was not I.
Oh, he did? That'd
Yeah.
be funnier if he hadn't, though. So that's why I said it. All right.
And it was after
Now-
Michael said it that Sandy said it. But we'll give them both credit.
Okay. It's funnier if I make fun of Michael. Okay, I've got to listen to this transition. 1 second. Okay, that's that one. Oh, I need a chapter mark. So now Joe LaGreca talks about the app Mac Updater. I'm going to save. I'm going to do a chapter mark, and I'm going to copy. Oh, you're not seeing it, but you'll see it magically happen. Bing, bing, bing.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that takes us to 36 minutes. Yeah, we're good. And I've got one more article there. I anything more than 30 minutes, Stephen Getz won't yell at me. Love me some chapter marks. All right. I'm not doing a chapter mark right now because I'm doing some spamming here. Don't do that. Don't do that. Arm this one. Well, I sure had fun talking to Joe about Mac Updater, and I have to tell you, I have been updating apps like crazy with that, and I actually got a notification the other day that I had 0 left to update, and now it says 6 again. But I'll try to keep these things up to date. Well, last week I mentioned that one of the ways you can help support the podcast is through a one-time donation via PayPal. This week, Jose Garcia and Thomas Barrow both took me up on that idea. For the next quarter, every time you listen to the NosillaCast, I want you to notice that the audio levels are great. No matter who's talking into the show, you can hear everyone without turning the volume up and down constantly while listening. And from show to show, notice the consistently high volume of the shows. It's because of Jose and Thomas's donations that I was able to pay for 3 months of Auphonic Leveler, which does the loudness and leveling magic just for you. So thank you from me, and more importantly, from the audience for your kind donations to help make the show better. If you guys would like to be a hero like Jose and Thomas, you can donate in a one-time donation at podfeet.com/PayPal. There we go. That was off the top of my head. Allison has over 400 apps. Yeah, you would be surprised. You probably have a 400 too. Don't give me a hard time for that. Steve's staying mute.
No,
He's staying
I'm
out
here.
of it. He
I'm
doesn't
just
want to get
listening.
he doesn't want to get between me and Frank. All right. Full screen.
Did you do a chapter mark here?
I'm gonna do one. That's why I want
Got
full
it.
screen. Mash down all the keys. And copy link.
These aren't just random keys you're mashing down, are they?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's all the ones on the left and the H. Levels are spectacular, Rush says. Yay. Yeah, I'm always pleased when I hear it, and it sounds. I do a test listen to it one more time after it gets pushed out, and I appreciate it. All right. Here we go.
All right, bring us home.
When the first HomePod was announced, Steve and I bought one. As promised, it had beautiful sound. You know what, though? We're not huge music listeners, but, it's been nice to take it out to the backyard when we have a socially distanced cocktail with a couple of friends. But that's about all we use it for. We do talk to the HomePod from time to time, asking the S-Lady questions, but she's actually a bit over-attentive. It used to be true that if you raised your wrist, your Apple Watch would take the S-Lady instructions, and all your other devices would say, okay, nope, the watch has it because they raised the wrist. This was handy because if I said, hey, S-Lady, set a timer for 30 minutes, it means I can go upstairs and the timer goes with me, either by my watch or my phone letting me know when time is up. I don't want the HomePod in the kitchen setting off the timer because then I have to stay downstairs to hear it. Heck, I've got a little timer right on the oven. I could use that if I was going to stand in the kitchen and wait for it to go off. For some reason, in an update in the last year or two, the HomePod got quite bossy and it always took over. I had to learn to press the digital crown on my watch or the side button on the iPhone instead of using the S-Lady word to initiate a timer. It's not a huge deal, but I wish they hadn't changed it. One problem with HomePod is it's kind of a personal device. Like an iPad or an iPhone, you connected it to one user's iCloud account, so only one person could have anything personalized on it. Only one person's music, one person's calendar, one person's messages. In a lot of houses, there's only one geek, but you know what? We're a 2-geek engineer household. This was a bit of a problem for us. At $350, it was a semi-intelligent speaker with really good sound, but not terribly shareable. $350 a piece for us to each have a semi-intelligent speaker didn't make any sense. But the HomePod Mini changed the landscape entirely. At $100 each, and with some of the features announced, we thought maybe this device might be more fun for a multi-geek household. I bought one in white, and Steve bought his in black because he buys everything in black. When they arrived, we set mine up first and Steve's second. Like many of Apple's products, the setup is really slick with HomePod. On your iPhone, you get a little scanner window, and then the HomePod makes a swirly thing on top, and the phone recognizes it and does the setup for you. The setup will ask you in which home you'd like to set up your HomePod, except it ends the sentence in a preposition, which I refuse to do. Then it asks for the room and asks you if you want to allow personal requests. This is the feature that it lets you ask for your schedule and messages and, that sort of personalized thing. That worked great for me. But when we went to do the same thing for Steve's HomePod, it insisted on having my account attached to it. We eventually figured out that there's only one home owner, so only one account can set it up. We were super bummed because that was the main thing we wanted with buying two, was to be able to have personalized devices. It does turn out, though, after initially setting it up, Steve was able to change the default account on his HomePod Mini to his own, so that was great. Now, once you've started down this path, many fun things start to happen. In the Home app, if you press and hold on any HomePod, you can enable personal requests on all HomePods or just specific ones. So I have personal requests turned on for my HomePod Mini and for the kitchen Big Girl HomePod, and Steve has them turned on for just his own HomePod Mini. We played around in the Home app with making a stereo pair with the HomePods Mini, and it was easy peasy. Press and hold on either HomePod and create a new group. Then you have to decide which room they're in, which makes sense, but you don't have to actually obey it. You don't have to move them into the room, but they're in that virtual room in the Home app. Finally, you choose which Apple Music and Podcasts account to use for the stereo pair. As quick as that, you've got stereo out of these adorable little spheres. By the way, the spheres are about exactly the same size as the Excel Cutie I was talking about, the surge suppressor. Interestingly, after setting up the stereo pair using Steve's Apple Music account, they weren't really personal devices anymore, at least for me. But undoing the group caused them to go back to being individuals, and then we had to move my HomePod back to my den in the Home app. Only the person who groups them can ungroup them. None of this was hard, but it was kind of interesting. I have to say that my single favorite thing about the HomePods Mini is the intercom feature. I'm sure you saw it shown off at the announcement, but it really works well. We have a house built in 1989 and has a built-in intercom system, but it's fallen out of favor in this digital age. When the Apple Watch got walkie-talkie, we tried that, but it worked, nearly 72% of the time. That was enough to stop using it. By enabling intercom on the HomePods, we suddenly had what I've been wanting for a long time. It's a little excessive to initiate because you have to say, "Hey, ass lady," and then you have to say intercom. So you could say it all together, "Hey, ass lady, intercom." After that, you can talk normally, though. In our case, we allowed all three HomePods to be part of the intercom, so I can catch Steve's attention in the kitchen or in his den, and vice versa for him. But it turns out you can enable intercom on your Apple Watch and your iPhone too. On those two devices, you get a message on screen with a play button, so you don't have to have your phone blurting things out to you. Oh, sorry. Started to get a sore throat there. Not a sore throat, just a dry throat. Sorry. Didn't want to scare anybody. I'm going to start back up there. Come on. There we go. On those two devices. Where did that go? Oh, there we go. On either of those devices, you get a message on screen with a play button. So you don't just have your phone blurting things out at you like you do with walkie-talkie. You get to choose when to play those intercom messages. All three HomePods, in contrast, broadcast the message right away. And get this, you can choose to enable intercom just when you're at home or when you're away from home too. At first, I thought that was unnecessary, so I didn't turn it on away from home. But then one day I needed to know something from Steve while on my walk. So I enabled it on my watch, and I simply spoke to him and got the information I needed as he walked by a HomePod in the house. I really like intercom on HomePod. The other thing I like about HomePods is how easy it is to fling audio from your phone to the device. Like everyone else, we have loads of Bluetooth speakers lying around, from ones we got for free, like in a box of Cracker Jacks, to fancy pants ones we paid for. Why is my throat drying up? More gin. Oh, I just ended this sentence in a preposition. I'm changing it. Should I change it, Sandy? Nope, I'm going to leave it. The problem is that all of them are so darn fiddly if you try to change which device is sending the audio. I remember in our Acuras we had Bluetooth, but it was so fiddly that we had to make a rule that Steve's phone had to be wired in my car and his had to be wired in mine. That doesn't make any sense. And that's backwards. Hang on. This is weird. Steve's not unmuting himself, so I feel like I'm sitting here alone. Talk to me, dear. He's not talking. Oh, that's weird. Oh, wait a minute. You were unmuted.
Okay, I think we're muting and unmuting each other here. So
I think so.
I think that should read, Steve's phone had to be wired in your car, and your phone had to be wired in my car.
And my phone had to be wired in his.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, good. Don't let me forget to push that one, though. Let's see. The problem is, Don McAllister pointed out that I raised my voice really high at the beginning of some sentences, and now it drives me crazy, too. All right. The problem is, I can't stand it. I'm going to change it. The other thing I like about HomePods is how easy it is to fling audio from your phone to the device. You know what? Like everyone else, we have loads of Bluetooth speakers lying around, from the ones we got for free in a box of, Cracker Jacks, to the fancy ones for which we paid. The problem is that these are so darn fiddly if you try to change which device is sending the audio. I remember in our Acuras we had Bluetooth, but it was so fiddly that we had to make a rule that Steve's phone had to be wired in my car and my phone had to be wired in his, or else our own phones were really hard to connect over Bluetooth. The Teslas are much better at this, but it's still extra effort to switch which phone is talking to the car because you have to connect in order to disconnect the other phone. With AirPlay, you only have to tap the AirPlay icon in whatever audio app you're using and then choose the HomePod you want, and it literally just works. Now, there's a bit of a delay on play pause, but it's way better than messing around with Bluetooth and disconnecting one phone to get the other one to work. I've started using the HomePod Mini as a speakerphone when at my desk, and I even started using it as a nice external speaker for my Mac, using the sound preference pane to choose it from the list of AirPlay devices. I brought the HomePod Mini with me when we went to our son Kyle's house, and I used it to play podcasts while I was brushing my teeth in the morning. I bore easily and I require entertainment constantly. I like the HomePod Mini so much that I might buy another one to keep in the bathroom at home for the same reason. Steve has a really good Bluetooth clock radio in the bathroom that he uses, but I'm always worried that I'll mess it up if I try to connect my phone. If I had a HomePod Mini in there, I wouldn't have to worry about it. The final thing I like about the HomePod Mini happened completely on purpose. No. By surprise, and there is not that does not look right. Hang on. Where's my original of that? I did not give it space. I need a space. That's supposed to be a nice list. It will be a nice list when you get it, Steve. The final thing I like about HomePod Mini happened completely by surprise. Someone rang our doorbell, and the HomePod Mini played a ding-dong sound. Let me walk you through how that happened. Now, there is a blog post explaining this in more detail, but let me just walk through the steps. I bought a Synology disk station for my network-attached storage. I installed what's called a Docker container on the Synology. I installed an app called Hoobs into that Docker container, and Hoobs is a GUI interface around Homebridge. I installed the Ring plugin into Homebridge/Hoobs. This put all of our Ring devices, like our external cameras, our security system, and our Ring video doorbell into the Home app. HomePod Mini has a setting, which is evidently on by default, that allows it to ding dong if you have a HomeKit doorbell installed. It was fabulous. It was just such a fun little surprise. The bottom line is that I'm delighted with the HomePod Mini, and now I want more of them. HomePod Mini has made our multi-geek family very happy, and hopefully it will for you too. There we go. I need to fix another link in there. 6:10. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're keeping class really late.
Well, it's John's fault for insisting that I give him credit appropriately. You know how he is, right?
Sam Sate couldn't even stay with us.
Oh,
maybe he or she was at work.
What's that?
Maybe he or she was at work. You can still give them a shout out.
We're doing detention. I like it. All right. Preview. Okay, I have sent that new version up, so it should look good. Preview. Here we go. All right, 46 minutes. That's good. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. You can also follow me on Twitter @podfeet. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. Want to become a patron of the Podfeet podcast? You can do that by going to podfeet.com/Patreon. If you want to do a one-time donation like we talked about earlier, podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join our Facebook or Slack groups, it's easy. podfeet.com/Facebook or podfeet.com/Slack. We welcome everybody in both places, wherever you want to be. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, like Samsa8 did for the first time this week, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Don't worry, Kevin will be back soon. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Hey, I didn't insist. I know, I love throwing you under the bus when you didn't even do it. Gotta have my fun, you know? All right. Well, I think that's probably should finish us up. What do you think, Steve?
I think so.
I think
we need to work on your audio issues with.
Yeah, I don't. We tested it and it was working fine, and then it just stopped all spontaneously. I don't have any idea how to fix it.
We'll do that offline.
I don't know how to fix it if it was working and it spontaneously stopped. I have no doubt it will not work next time. All right, what's Michael saying in Japanese? Maybe Frank O'Carroll can tell us. All right, everybody. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone.